Welcome to the Keelhauled podcast. I'm your host, CaptainLogun. We've got a lot of Sea of Thieves news to cover today, so tie yourselves to the mast and hold fast. Ahoy there, pirates. I hope you had yourselves a good week and a good weekend. I know I did. This week, it is the early community episode for November. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on guilds, as well as the Skull of Siren Song voyage. That is all coming up with the Gold Hoarders, because this week is 1 week early from Thanksgiving for a lot of us here in the States, and as a result I want to make sure that as many people are available for that. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but we're going to be covering mostly the guilds and the system around that, how people feel about it. There's definitely a lot of conversation to be had about if it's achieving what I think Rare wanted for it to achieve, as well as what they wanted for it to achieve, and how people are feeling about it kind of overall. Definitely some really good conversations and some good discussions to be had there. And then we kind of get into the actual Skull of Siren Song and some thoughts on that. I think a lot of us are very happy with it. I think a lot of us are enjoying it. Just kind of preface the conversation around it. And it'll be interesting to kind of see like how things go, what it can lead to in the future. So lots to talk about there. So let's get into it. But before we do any of that, I have to thank the patrons, because they're the ones that got me enough funding to pay for the other parts of my computer. I am a graphics card away. I went and I dipped into personal funds and Patreon funds, and I got some really good deals. I've been scoping out everything that I can possibly get during this Black Friday. I've skipped out on a couple parts of it, but I'm there. I'm pretty much there. I'm waiting for that CPU. So it's thanks to them that I will hopefully be able to get back into streaming and get back into making more content and seeing if I can do more stuff now that I have like a little more throughput with my computer. So I want to thank the patrons because they helped me get there. Their support did that. So thank you to People's Republic, LQ, Balls, Blue Turtle V1, who joined us this session, Captain Chunky, Captain Hayes, Chateau Neuf, Super Pack, Zombie Killer, Cloud, Cosmic Johnson, Static Mirror, DA Gaming, Davram TV, El Jefe Esteban, Fergatron, Godhammer 6, I'm Dependa Now, Jorby Jorbs, J Hood, Carl Embo, Kazia the Aficionado, Cryptic Slayer, Lumpy SRQ, Evil Morpheus, Space Admiral Ors, Xbox Mike 29, Murphy Lives, Mutinous Max, Nipper Kim, Norwegian, Raja the Brave, Regis Stella the Brony Pirate, Replicated Flame, Rustbell Kid, Skamelt, Captain Dasm, Tommy D, TN Professor, Real Big Tuna, Big Bad Pad, Mina Fairy, Anthony N. Jr., Captain J. Rat of the Flaming Cold Sore, the Lore Chronologist Deadeye Dre, Hager Owl, Jeff H., Ghostboy 20, Evil Martha, Peter Miller, Rooski Doo, Thor Von Blitz, Windsor Chris, Luke Lore the Insipid Ghost, and Zam Wow. Thank you again for your support. It really does mean the world to me. It has helped tremendously. I have all the parts and all the RGBs sitting behind me. I'm waiting for that last CPU to get in so that I can start kind of working on this build. It's going to be a slow process because I want to make sure that I do it right and I do it safely. And I don't want to push to get this thing like swapped over, because that's also going to take a lot of time and energy in between making episodes as well too. So thank you. If you guys want to support this content, there's plenty of ways to do that don't involve the Patreon. Just sharing on X or Threads or wherever you listen to this. If you like, subscribe, if you rate it, if you give reviews, those are all great ways to kind of promote the show or respond to the show that don't involve being a patron. If you do want to support, there's a free tier on there as well too, that you can just show that, you know, that's a support as well too, but most of the content's locked to that. And it's mostly just patrons getting the same feed that a lot of you are already getting. They just want to show their support their way. So thank you to them. Thank you to everyone that participated today. I had a really good time chatting with everyone, and I can't wait for you to hear that. So let's get into it. Welcome everyone to the the November of 2023 community episode. We're going a little bit early. Obviously, North America, we have our Thanksgiving or our Friendsgiving, depending on how you celebrate. And a lot of folks are going to be, shopping for deals and looking for those Black Friday ads next week. So I figured now would be a good time to jump in. And given that last time we talked all about Monkey Island, and we have so much to talk about this season. I want to actually like get into this. So let's get into the introductions, get everyone voice with a name so that you know exactly who's who, or you'll learn. I'm sure a few of you probably already know who's who at this point. And we'll start talking about guilds and get into the Skull of Siren Song. So kicking us off at the top of the list, because we're going alphabetical, Blue Turtle V1, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for being here. And I'm hoping we're going to have a good time in the next couple podcasts, I think.
Awesome. I'm sure you will. I'm sure we'll all have a good time chatting about this. Next up, we've got El Jefe Esteban. Jefe, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. I heard earlier you were putting up Christmas lights. Is that still, or are you done with that now?
No, now I'm out here trying to figure out how to do a Bluetooth smart plug, and I'm sweating my behind off. So we're right on schedule. It's Thanksgiving in South Alabama.
Well, hopefully it works out well. Next up, we've got Godhammer. Godhammer, how you doing, buddy?
I'm not half bad today. Just out there hunting siren skulls.
Ooh, man. I've been seeing them pop a lot, too. We'll get into that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we've got Carl Embo. Carl, long time no see. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm already tired of the Christmas songs on the radio, though. So, yeah. It's going to be a long month and a half, I think.
Oh, just go blackout for a little bit. How's Ollie doing, by the way?
He's doing really well, yes. It's actually his birthday next week, so
nice.
That's all exciting times. Very expensive for me, though.
Good. That means he'll love you in the future and he'll take care of you when you're old. Also, happy birthday to Ollie.
Thank you.
Next up, we've got Regis Stella. Regis, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, like always.
Nice. Good early morning on you. Has it been pretty warm down there, or is it warming up?
It's currently 14 degrees on the weekend, so
that's still
not
cold.
compared to El Jefe's 70 degrees or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be like 21, 22-ish, I think, in Celsius.
Well, Godhammer could correct me in Celsius, but it's how we do things in the rest of the world. Because you Americans are a little, want to stand out from the rest, if you will.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Look, if people want it to be 100 degrees to feel hot, that's fine. I'm fine converting it to 40. Next up, we've got Rust Belt Kid. Rusty, I saw you sneak in there. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Just got home from work, so just figured I got the Buckeye football game on in the background, so we'll be all right.
Nice. It's the rest of the weekend for you, hopefully.
No, I gotta work. We're working 7 days a week pretty much right now. I kind of can pick and choose when my weekend I get off is.
Yeah.
So I did last weekend knowing that we're gonna have Thanksgiving weekend in South Carolina. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry that you have to work so much, but I'm glad that you'll get the bank from that and hopefully cash in next weekend.
Yeah, and I can't let Dad and Grandpa be in here by themselves. It's too much trouble.
It's true. They start talking about the olden days and stuff, and no one keeps them young and fresh. And speaking of young and fresh, Static Mirror, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Today marks the first day of hunting season here in Wisconsin.
Oh.
So I am promptly staying indoors.
I wasn't expecting that. I'll be honest. Next up, go ahead.
Oh, nope, nothing.
What? All right. Next up, we've got TN Professor. TN, how you doing?
Ahoy. It's a good day.
It is.
That's okay, Static. Make sure to paint all your cows with the word cow on it and horse on the horse, and you'll be good.
Is that a thing? Is that a real thing? Do people have to? It's like a book. You have to identify these things now.
Now I've got you wondering.
It does. Is this the new generation? We just have to start putting labels on everything. Oh my gosh.
Well, Rusty there reminded me. Men of a certain age don't have to take hunting classes, and apparently he did. So.
Watch your mouth, sir. Watch your mouth.
Hey, we love our military here. Next up, we've got Tommy D. Tommy, how you doing?
I'm all right. Just out trying to bring our guild rep up a little bit.
Nice. Oh, fantastic. I appreciate that. Awesome. Well, speaking of, folks, this is the community episode where I want to get your thoughts, your feelings on guilds. I also want to talk about the Skull of Siren Song. So I imagine guilds probably won't be a huge conversation, but I do want to get some feedback because I know how I feel about guilds from a content creator perspective, where I feel like I want to have a guild that I can have all 400 some people in the Discord join up and be a part of and still contribute and not have to worry about it. I know that that's kind of like a very niche perspective though. So I want to get some thoughts. If you have some feelings on like the size, is that something that's working well for you all? Like I know a couple of you specifically, like I'm thinking of Godhammer with their guild. You all typically have like a small group of friends that can usually accommodate the 24 player limit. Has anyone reached the 24 player limit and felt like they needed more, or has 24 been a pretty good number?
With ours, I feel like it is almost the exact number needed for the most part.
I'm really kind of confused about it because there's not really anything we're doing in a group other than watching the register either climb or fall. It's still your crew on your boat is really the only ones you're interacting with, and so it's not necessarily a social event. So yeah.
That's a really good point. I kind of want to dive into that after folks get a chance to answer.
I think. Go ahead, Godhammer.
I've found that with Grogged, we're still at like 19 members. Not everybody who showed interest actually ended up like calling out to the guild leaders to join up. So we're still sitting at 19, and there's still room to go up or down with that. But like we've hit 67 already, which is well above the other two guilds that I'm a part of, including Keelhauled captains. And things have been going great. Everybody's been contributing to it, and yeah, there could be more social options in the future to get everything up, but it feels like we're making good progress. I'm pretty sure that once we hit the community weekend, we can hit that first distinction level no problem, probably.
That's awesome. That's a heck of a number. Rusty, what were you going to jump in with?
Kind of going off of what Prof said. I know I mean, obviously we sailed together, so I know what he means. Like, I feel like in our guild, and I might be wrong on this maybe, but I feel like all the crews have been the same couple crews that have been sailing together for 4, 5, 6 years. So I feel like we're in that position where we kind of just keep doing the same thing. It definitely, I'm not like pointing fingers or calling out names or anything, but it definitely seems like we were going pretty good on the levels, and now like the last couple weeks it seems like every time we get on we're not really above where we left off the night before. But I know that we tend to sail 5, 6, 7 days a week sometimes, so sometimes it feels like you're the only one doing anything for the guild, but at the same time, like, I know other people have actual lives outside of going to work and playing video games.
Yeah it's a real interesting. So I'm kind of curious what everyone's highest level guild is. If you guys happen to remember, I'm pretty sure you can actually take a look on Sea of Thieves' website as well too. If you log in, you can actually go check your reputations and stuff, as well as I love that they wanted to make it so that you could actually spend money from the Emporium actually on the website, so they didn't force you to like boot up the game to actually spend money for them. But I know at least for myself, the 3 guilds that I'm in, 2 are for Keelhauled, and then 1 is for the Weathered Buccaneers. And both of those are pretty on par, like 47 for Keelhauled captains and then 40. And I definitely noticed after like, I would say 30s, mid 30s, most folks are kind of like slowing down. Like it's the progress is definitely slowed down a lot, but where's everyone else at with theirs? Blue, do you happen to know what yours are off the bat? Not sure.
Sorry, couldn't find the unmute button.
No worries.
But yeah, the only guild I'm in at the moment is only it's at respectable level 47. So, and I hope it will go up a little bit more since they kind of rebalanced the reputation that you get from like handing in treasure, because it was kind of disappointing seeing that having to like sail for like a couple of hours and then like barely have the progression level move, and then when people did like an hourglass fight, it would progress a lot faster. So I hope it would go up a little bit faster now, then instead of having to stick to just doing hourglass battles.
Yeah, same. I'm right there with you. Actually, has anyone actually have you guys gotten a chance to do? I know a lot of us have been hunting down Siren Skulls, but has anyone gotten to do any kind of ledger work towards that normally with treasure and noticed a difference?
I've done my usual rating of the sea forts recently because I decided to like discontinue my going on to alliance servers and just cheating that way, which you seem to be very proud of, mind you.
I think it's fantastic.
And
how's the sea forts
yeah,
been?
and pretty good. I gained like roughly a level per session, level per fort of the renowned thing. But yeah,
Nice.
I feel like I'm like the only one doing the guild ledger thing. Like I don't know where we are right now. I think what last time I checked, the ledger was roughly like what 11 million so far.
It's pretty high. We've definitely capped out on the Keelhauled captains for the rewards this month.
Yeah. I see what you're doing there, Professor, in the Gold Hoarder chat. Yeah.
Just celebrating for you, Regis. That's awesome.
Yeah, I can see that.
We're all quite pleased you stopped using Alliance service.
You do you, though. Listen, you do you, okay?
We do need to get you on a boat, though, and go sailing around.
Do not forget that
Maybe.
immediately after Guilds dropped, we had the Ghoul and Glory event, which sort of turbocharged everybody's early Alliance gains. And they have just rebalanced how collecting like loot in Adventure will boost and improve how quickly you gain guild rep rather than doing just Hourglass alone.
That's true. Yeah, we did have that rebalance, and it kind of makes you wonder, do you think that the slowdown now feels like how it should be, or do you feel like how the accelerated pace it was during Ghoul and Glory week is kind of like what the rate should be?
I think where it's at right now feels about right.
Anyone else have any thoughts on that?
That I want to do it real quick, but
yeah,
that's just me.
I mean, if we have 1,000 levels to get through, if you have 10 distinctions and 100 levels in between each distinction, I don't know. It's gonna take a while given the rate that we're going right now.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, Rare's not thinking about like, oh, everybody's going to reach 1,000 levels, but at the same time, like, where are we at with more development of this game? Where does Rare see this game in the next couple of years? Because at least from my perspective, like, I still feel, and I know people hate me for this, but I still feel like we're kind of on a downward slope. That it's going to slowly start kind of. I don't want to say dying. It's not going to die. It's not a dead game. But I feel like it's, at some point here soon, we're going to start kind of going down that bottom end of the roller coaster. And if Rare thinks, oh, this game's going to go on another 5 years, then okay, yeah, 1,000 levels at this pace, that's fine. But, I don't know. I just don't see it. It's very, very slow right now. And I just feel for, like us, for instance, we sail so much and it's just not moving very fast. It feels like it'll take forever.
Oh, it was meant to. It was meant to. It was meant to give us something to grind at. I think right now, it's part of the new hotness, even with the new event, and it's got people playing, and we're checking the ledger to make sure that we're going to get the prize at the end, which is great. I think that right now it's engaging and we're having fun with it. I would like to see something develop further, like what Blurbs is trying to do with the Pirate Council. I'm not sure how Rare manages that. That's kind of what I was thinking about, Logan, as far as Guilds doesn't have a real community in-game connection other than the ledger. And so that doesn't really have any other interactions outside of that. My concern is over time, if they don't keep adding things for you to stretch for, then it'll become like the other things of, well, it's boring content and I just don't want to do that anymore. What's the next new thing? So it's going to depend on how Rare feeds this new, game element.
Yeah. Carl,
Go ahead, sir.
I wanted to get Carl's thoughts in because I know that he'd unmuted at a point.
Yeah, it's just a point on what Rustbelt said there about the progress of the game. Speaking at EGX, to a couple of people from both Rare and Microsoft, they were talking 5-year plan. So I think it is definitely for the long haul, the idea behind all the levels. But at the same time, I'm in a guild with 19 other people, but it seems more of a secondary or a third guild where most of the people are actually focusing on another guild. So we're only just shy of level 29 at the moment. So when people are focusing on other guilds, I think it is very difficult to level up. I feel if they're going to allow us to be in multiple guilds, we should be able to level them up at the same pace, perhaps, same time. But to level 3 separate guilds up just seems a bit overkill to me.
Would it be I guess the word I'm looking for, I really don't know what the word I'm looking for, in the sense of with the progression of the guilds and where we're going with these, I feel like maybe, obviously I know Rare has a bigger plan behind this, but like the concept of like, it almost feels, for as slow as it is, and even with what Carl was saying, oh, they're talking about another 5 years, that's awesome, but it can almost feel like, with Prof said, if you don't add more to it, you don't get us to keep using it or using that system. So it almost feels like it's just another place to dump more cosmetics for us to try to earn. Because, like, at least from my perspective, I don't even care about those cosmetics for the emissaries anymore. I mean, if I get them, cool. If I don't, I know other people want them. But it almost just feels like it's just another place to dump more cosmetics, because you're not interacting with anybody else other than your normal crew to begin with.
I think there's an opportunity, if Rare wanted to try and address the fact that multiple guilds tend to have one or two that kind of get ignored because most folks are kind of jumping in on one main one. If there was some sort of trickle down effect that whatever guild you're representing, the other guilds that you're a part of have some sort of small percentage that gets bumped up as you were playing on that main guild, it helps the other two guilds as well. I'm thinking Pokemon has this where they used to force you to like level up one Pokemon at a time. In any battle that you had, the Pokemon in that battle got the experience, where now it's kind of like the party gets experience, even if it's not the full amount. Is that something that might help this situation?
I believe so, because my other two guilds that I have, they're only level 1. It's granted, they only have like 3 or 4 people in them, and they never play. I'm the only one that really plays. But if my progression from the Keelhauled can, like 25%, that can go to them, that'd be all right.
Yeah, I'm really confused about the multiple guilds now that it's come out, because I really think we'll only have time to invest in one if you want to see any progression. And so the only reason to add multiple guilds was to make room for people to be in the club. But if you're not interacting in the club, what does it matter? We can do that anyway. And so that part of it confuses me a bit. I just decided to really put my time into one. And so Gringar's moped one is 0.
That one's dead. It's never happening. I'm not doing anything for it out of spite at this point.
I just made a connection in my head. 24 members of guild, 24 players per server, and they've always been talking about having the pirate hideout where the ships burst forth through the waterfall.
Now that would be cool. Not necessarily to have everybody on the seas, but to be able to come into the pirate tavern together would be fun.
If only they were like if they put out a mode where, you know, it was like its own version of Sea of Thieves, and you could lock it to just like one crew to start with, but then like open it up to other crews that are your friends. Then something like that might be a way for them to be able to have like a whole guild on a server. I don't know, call it like safe haven for guilds, or guild seas or something like that.
I just want a pirate council room. I am not asking for the entire seas.
I want the entire seas. I want it.
Well, now you've gone to an alliance server, my friend.
That's true, but it's my friends. That's what matters. It's my friends. No, I want to get Static. I saw Static Mirror unmute there for a sec, so I want to get your thoughts in.
There's a couple ways they could fix guilds or improve it a little bit. Is when you log in and you're hopping onto your friend's ship, if it gave you the option of what guild you wanted to sail under. So let's say your friend's sailing under his guild, but you wanted to work on the Keelhauled. Like when you log into his boat or hop on with him, it would be like, what guild do you want to sail under? And you can pick one of your guilds that you have. So you're both sailing together, but you're just under different guilds. Or the other option could be is it doesn't matter if you're in 3 guilds, whatever progress that you're doing, that progress goes towards all 3 guilds.
I'm with you on the second one, because I feel like that kind of, even if it's just like a 25% of the reputation earned for your main guild gets added to the other 2 guilds that you're in. So that way there's a little bit of progress being made, because people only have so much time in the day to be able to sail, and most of them are going to be doing it. The one umbrance that I would bring up with the first option, which I actually still like that idea of being able to choose which guild you want to sail under, is the design intent for the guild is that you want to be focused on sailing as a guild crew for that guild ship. But even that's kind of like their design intent, is they want you to be like working under one crew, one guild. And I still think that doesn't necessarily quite hit the mark for what they've actually implemented.
So why don't they just incorporate bonus XP the more guild members of the same guild are on the same ship?
I think that's a good idea, actually. I think that's even, more guild members per crew increase the reputation exponentially. I think that's a really good fix.
Because I would like to continue sailing under the Keelhauled, but I only do that when I'm sailing solo, because I usually sail under my other friends, under their guilds or whatnot, when we're all together.
Yeah. Tia and Rusty, I know you two got some thoughts.
Well, I think that you kind of hit with the guild plaques and the special things to place on the ship. They were trying to do the same thing that they were doing with your pirate, and that's the guild would tell a special story based on what was collected from that unique ship, just like the unique pirate. So they were trying to do that. I don't know that it's hitting on all cylinders for all of us like that, but that definitely was part of their design intent, it seems.
Yeah.
And I think my question was kind of answered in a way. I know you mentioned when you're on Keelhauled, and I forget who it was that was talking, so I apologize.
Static.
Okay, Static. I apologize, buddy. But I know you kind of mentioned that, like, when you're on the Keelhauled, you're kind of just solo slooping. And my question before you said that was, are people really sailing? Like, when you're sailing and you're in a guild, are you not sailing with other people? Because, but then again, I guess it's because most of other than Prof, because he's egotistical and has to get all his arena stuff and all his diving stuff. I don't know many people in our group or in our guild that actually ever sail solo, like ever, outside of Prof. But like I said, he's old and getting senile.
I wanted that stuff. No one would do it, so I did it.
That's how you get ahead in life. I really like the idea that we have like some opportunities to kind of like address some of the main issues with like guilds and reputation and stuff. Regis, did you have some thoughts on this? And I know Blue Turtle, you mentioned something in chat that I want to get some thoughts on as well too.
No, I was just saying, like, I'm the other person. To answer his Rusty question, I'm the other person who's soloing the whole doing the guild thing. So yeah, there you go, Rusty.
That's so funny. I appreciate the GIF in there. Blue, you'd wrote in chat that you're curious if they would make changes to guilds like they did to captaincy, because captaincy came out to have people have something to work for long run. Instead of doing that, they've kind of made things easier. Can you expand on like what you'd like to, or what you think they might do, or do you think that that's something that they would want to do?
I'm not really sure, because like they branded captaincy for like as like something to like work towards like your future for like the long run, and then they kind of just at one point were like, yeah, hey guys, we're gonna like lower the requirements to unlock the like the trinkets and stuff, and I was like, all right, that's fine, but they kind of like lowered it so far down that like all my progression on captaincy kind of like skyrocketed it like into like levels where I think like this is a little bit too fast, because having like things at like level 2000 at this point is like and I did not really did too much effort to do it. Like I've kind of this running thing where I'm like, in my guild I'm the guild cook, so I just cook all the meals on the boat, and I just forage for like supplies and food and all that stuff. But I hope that I'm still figuring out with like the changes that they made to like the progression for like treasure hunting, if it's like at a point where it's like it's still fast enough and it still like feels rewarding, so you don't like, it's not really as much of a grind to get the what is it, the outfits and stuff. But so far, like I've only like sold like a couple hours, and so I didn't not really see the effects of like how much it like they tweaked it in, like if it's like in a good way, or if it's still at the point of, like we might be able to like give you a little bit more rep as we go, but I'm not really sure about the things in the long run for the moment.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to really test out the differences because I've seen like what the hourglass stuff was like, but that was like Godhammer had mentioned during Ghoul and Glory, so it was going to be a lot faster. Tien, I know you're saying that you don't want stuff to get nerfed, and I know that's kind of your stance, is you like to have those long-term goals and like to feel that sense of accomplishment when you've gotten it. Anything you want to touch on with that?
Let's not nerf it. Let's keep it hard. Let's keep it. Or else we're going to be complaining to Rare to give us something new. Let's make Rare stick to their guns on this and develop content that in the interim between those large long-term goals keeps us hooked, keeps us interested. That's how this thing drives forward and keeps interest on a constant basis, rather than what we've been seeing, and that's event-driven population, where the sea is dead until an event, and then everybody shows up, does it for a few weeks, and then they leave again. I think that's part of the issue that Rare is having with Microsoft and the numbers drive that they're having.
Yeah,
they need to do something that they can feasibly do on a regular basis to continue to drive that content.
Level 10 distinction should mean something.
Yes.
Well, okay, so to counter that, Static Mirror has some thoughts.
So, to argue a point on why they lowered stuff for captaincy, I think people forget that easily 50% of the player basis of this game are casuals. And the other 50%...
I just have to jump in. Filthy casual.
I wasn't going to stoop to that level yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. I retract my statement.
Yeah, 50% being casuals and the other 50% being, dedicated players that play 3-4 days a week, for a decent amount of time, let's say 3 hours per night, getting in some decent grinding. Now, casuals probably only play once or twice a week, only at a couple hours. So they were probably feeling like they weren't seeing very much done on their captaincy, where normal people like us, where we just kind of grind all the time during the week, that, for us, it wasn't an issue. But for casuals, it was not showing any progression for them, essentially. So I think that's kind of why they lowered it down. Now, when it comes to the same part of the guilds, I can't tell you what's going to happen with the guilds because I don't know. But there's a chance that they might lower stuff for guilds if they look at the numbers again and realize that a lot of guilds aren't going up fast enough because 50% of the player base, again, is casuals.
Turtle, actually, you got something you want to jump in with?
Yeah, I just want to quickly, I agree with it's like they're gonna have to try and keep two groups of people satisfied with the rewards that they get, because on one side you have the grinder that grinds for a couple days a week, and then the casual that can only hop in for 2-3 hours a week. So they're going to have to find the balance between hey, is it rewarding for both, or just for both sides in general?
I think the way they do that is to continue having at least 1 week a month be something where it's like a double rewards. I think that's your catch-up mechanic. And I see this in other games too, where they have catch-up mechanics built in for folks that can't play on a regular basis, but do like to jump in to actually, have some time to do that. It's not uncommon. It's definitely a way to drive engagement as well too. I think right now Twitch drops are going on for a new set of cosmetics, and I think a lot of folks are having fun with the Skull of Siren Song. And these are good points in where you'll see a rise in popularity and a rise in the player base. But without like double gold and double glory weekends, most casuals would probably see those rewards as too far out of reach and not try to even really bother with them. Carl, I know you had some thoughts.
Yeah, so I wouldn't class myself quite as a casual as such, but I'm also not someone who managed to get on every night of the week for 3-4 hours a night. As a single parent, I've got a lot to juggle. But the Golden Glory weekends that we're having, yes, they're great, but recently they've been Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's been, I've managed to get maybe 2 hours of sailing in the last 2 or 3 Golden Glory weekends we've had. So even these catch-up weekends, I feel like I'm not making progression with the guild side of things. Now I've 100% of gold, 100% of merchants, all the trading companies have 100%. It's just the PvP and Veils I've got left to do, plus the new Siren Skull. And the guilds. But to try and catch up on the guild stuff when I'm seeing other guilds on Distinction 2 or 3 by now, and I'm like, well, I'm not even level 30 in my guild. I feel like I'm not going to get to that level, which is a shame, really. So I don't know. I feel like it should be balanced based on how many people are actually active in the guild as well, if we're going to be making improvements on it.
Are you thinking like maybe the smaller the guild, the higher the gain until more people join up, and then it kind of slowly kind of evens out so that the max rank guilds are earning equal to what like someone with 2 people in it would be?
Essentially, because I know, as a couple people have already touched on, the majority of the player base, are casual players who won't be in communities like we are. So a lot of people, I'd be interested to know how many people are not even in a guild at this point, other than maybe one they've made themselves. So whether there's something that you could, like a looking for guild in-game, rather than like on Facebook or Discord or Twitter, something in-game to generate that togetherness. But it would be nice to have some sort of advantage to be in a small guild to try and actually get to a distinction level 1, because at the rate we're going, I don't think we'll get distinction level 1 for probably close to a year, and I don't think I'll be playing the game for 10 years, if I'm honest.
I think that's the trick that they're having to rail against. How do you develop a game as a service that not only invites new players to be able to get into so that you can continue to grow or replace old members with new members, while also feeding the desire to have something fresh for the community to focus on, with enough long-term goals that satiate the desire to have like some sort of recognition or something to attribute your time spent on the seas in a physical or cosmetic way. It's a hard kind of formula to work out, and I honestly don't blame or envy them for having to try and figure it out. I know a lot of companies are still trying to work out how that works. And I think that there's definitely a lot of strides that could be made to improve guilds. Prof, I think that you're right that there needs to be a deeper level of what guilds are. Static, I think that having a way to choose who you want to represent in your guild, or at least have a way to help boost up other guild members, might help out. But also, Carl, I appreciate having the long-term goal that addresses the distinction for what the word means, and that we can have something like that. But also, I would not be surprised if there was some sort of catch-up mechanic that they introduced or went and tried to address, like the reputation gang, like they did with captaincy, like Blue brought up. Does anyone want to dive into anything else with guilds? We've got about 15 to 20 minutes left, and I want to make sure that I get your thoughts on Skull of Siren Song. All right. So
I just want to say,
No, jump in.
I just want to say, big ups to Evil Morpheus for having the best sloop name, Spaceballs the Sloop, on the guild.
Evil Morpheus is great. Great. I don't know if you guys saw the images or not on Twitter, but if not, I'll have to grab them for you. But his setup is absolutely beautiful for that. But yeah. Okay. Jumping into Skull of Siren Song. The new voyage is out. It is very much like PvEVP. It feels to me a lot like what was originally kind of with Sea of Thieves. Like we did have build rat adventures. We had, stuff that would force us to go to specific islands where you had to dig up treasure, and people were lying in wait for people to show up with there. We had the Gilded Athenas, where the Gilded Athena voyages were given out as Christmas gifts, and everyone was kind of like out there hunting people for these gilded because it was always the same islands. It brings back a lot of what was really kind of cool about when you would be chasing a ship to an outpost that you knew they had to go turn in a chest to one specific person. And if you got there ahead of the time, you could kind of like camp out. How many times have you guys seen over the years videos of people camping out the taverns, waiting for someone who that they just got an Athena chest, have to go turn it into the mysterious stranger, and there'd be kegs waiting, or someone in a barrel disguise with blunder bombs. That has finally kind of returned with the Skull of Siren Song, and I think that the design that they've built around this still has a couple flaws that I think that they need to address, that I've already put in like support tickets for. But overall, I think this is probably one of the best voyages that they've introduced that could be added as a world event, and is far more interesting to me than the PvE stuff that they've recently introduced. But as that is kind of the basis, I wanted to open up to the floor. Have you guys had a good time with this? What are your thoughts on it?
This definitely, I think, has brought back, like you said, kind of some of that kind of OG energy. We haven't had any kind of heart pounding anything in SOT for a long time, and I think finally we have something that gives rise to that again, which is good. I think it's good and healthy. That's I don't know. It's one of the things that kind of made me love this game to begin with, was never knowing what was going to happen, and the fact that there's just so many different variables that can happen with this particular mission, world event, whatever it is. I love it. I think it's great. I think this definitely is a shot in the arm this game has needed for a long time.
I agree. Who's next?
I would like to say I thank the VA for putting me on blood pressure medication just at the right time in my life. Because without it, my blood pressure would probably be through the roof as we've been playing. But I am currently batting 1,000 and undefeated, and I'll just leave it at that.
So you've done one. That's good to know.
No, we've done quite a few. Don't. No, I'm not getting it from you either, Logan. I already get it from the other two. I'm not getting it from you. Nope, not doing it.
Who's up next?
I'll go. I think it's incredibly fun. Coming from the words of somebody who hates diving with a passion. I think diving is just too sweaty sometimes, and it can get kind of tedious and boring. This is different. I really enjoy this, and it is fun, and it is interesting knowing that even if you do get stunk and the skull has been revealed, it's just going to put you by an island that's close to where the ship is, or the battle is still going. So it still gives you that fighting chance to get back in there and be like, hey, let's get that skull back. I know they took it from us, but we have a chance to get this back before they hand it in. And I like the idea of the fighting chance constantly going on. And all around, it's just, you're going to get outmatched by some people. And that's just how it is. Now, the downfall that I have seen so far is that not every boat is equal. So I have noticed this by myself, and I think Hitbo actually made mention of it too the other day. If somebody has a brig and they have the skull and you are following in a sloop, you cannot catch them.
Yeah, the brig is an outlier right now.
It is a little OP. So I've realized that maybe kind of a way that they could potentially fix it is, if you're in a galleon, you're slowed down by 50%. If you're in a brig, you're slowed down by 60 or 65%. And if you're in a sloop, you're slowed down by like 45%. So that way it kind of evens out the boats, I believe, if you were to figure it out right. But as of right now, the brig, just too powerful.
Yeah. I know just from personal experience and with talking with Fuzzy Bond during his stream, we were able to confirm, and shout out to Caleb too, because Caleb helped test the sloop for me. The brig right now has a bug where if you have a rowboat attached and you have the skull in your hand and you sit down in the rowboat, you do not get affected by the curse. And it's been reported, so hopefully they'll get this fixed. But yeah, Briggs have an advantage right now that I really hope that the team is able to go take a look at the actual like math on the speeds that are currently like set up for all sailing conditions, because it does feel like there's just you're able to get get somewhere faster, and I don't think that's the intent.
Roth, I think you and I are on the same boat right now.
Yeah, we tried that last night, and it might be the Black Rose curse, but it wasn't helping us.
I mean, the brig was. It took us guys what 35 minutes, maybe even more, to get from where we were to where we had to turn the skull in.
Every direction we turned was against the wind.
It was just garbage. Like everybody could have caught us.
It was absolutely agonizing. But again,
they could have swam to us.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, we also kind of went into, and I think all three of us can speak on this. We had something weird happen last night. Like I joined late on a server that they had the skull turned in, so we kind of just went about our way, and then all of a sudden we started one, and that skull that was turned in, there was what 3 sloops and 2 brigs or something like that, and then all of a sudden it merger served us. And I'm wondering, and if somebody has an answer to this, please. We were kind of back and forth about this last night. I'm wondering when it merger served, whether or not people came to our server, whether or not we went to somebody else's server. I'm wondering if it's already up and you merger serve like that, if it even gives you the opportunity to join in, because when it did that, like we saw ships, but nobody even bothered to come near us. So I don't even know if they knew what was going on or ever even had the opportunity to join in.
There's been some interesting stuff that I've seen. I've seen some people say that the spawn rates for the note is too quick, and that it's been messing it up. And that if you merge or if you dive or if you go into a tall tale or something, when you have it up, it messes the actual thing out. Like it actually messes up the voyage. There's definitely been a couple weird instances that I've seen so far on streams and stuff while watching, getting Twitch drops.
I'd just like to say, and we have had a lot of fun as the chat. I love it. I would say to the general population playing Sea of Thieves, man, breathe, take a breath. I don't have to play this game like you do. The fact that I don't want to stop and PvP you instead of turning that thing in is my business. And I would really appreciate it. You can be mad and salty, but let's tone down the racial slurs and the other things. That's just not cool. And our team will record you and turn you in.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some salty pirates out there. And for everyone that's listening, hopefully you don't run into that. It's always a shame when all you want to do is just be in a competitive situation and have everyone be good sports about it, because that's going to ruin everyone else's day. It's just going to bring the mood down. Yeah, you may not win, but you're going to win one, and you're not going to win all of them, but you're going to win some of them. So just kind of chill out with a lot of that.
Hand out the GGs. You can be upset. That's fine. I totally get it. I get upset. Hand out the GGs, man.
I kid you not. I still want to get some thoughts from other people as far as like how this actually goes. But I kid you not, I was watching. I can't remember who it was because it wasn't someone I was familiar with, but they were fighting 3 crews on one of the small islands on Snake Island, and they were both like almost dead 2 or 3 times. And the streamer that was playing had immediately he was getting attacked by the skull and was almost dead, and he got one sniper shot off on the guy that was holding the skull. It was like him and it was like just the 2 of them, and he killed him, grabbed the skull, and within 3 steps of turning it into Briggs, he got sniped by a third party and lost it. And it was like the most painful thing to watch that I've seen in a while, and I haven't seen that in a long time. But I can imagine, like, they kept their cool about it. They were upset, but they kept their cool about it, and everyone should be able to work towards doing that.
I've done about a dozen of them at this point, and of the 3 that were most competitive, I'm happy to report that everybody was cordial and good sports. Everybody was happy. GG's, good competition. been so happy with the voyage thus far. Absolutely loving it. A+, good stuff.
How's everyone else feeling about it? I know we've gotten some folks in here. Has anyone else not gotten a chance to jump in to say like what they like or dislike about it?
To be fair, I've only done one, and it was uncontested. I'm actually planning on hopping on tonight after this call and seeing if I can actually get some competitive side of it, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm most excited about is the idea of being able to talk, being able to hide on islands again. And yeah, I'm excited for the possibility of it, but it depends on how long it goes for, because I think the top levels, grade 5's 30 turn-ins, is it? Which isn't many.
It's 50 digs. I think it is 30 turn-ins.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of people have that done quite quickly.
Yeah, I know it's one for the jacket, and I think, is it 10 or is it 15 for the mask?
No idea, to be honest.
I can't remember.
But it's one of them. I hope it's not going to be a case that it's going to be busy and it's going to be competitive until most of the sweatier players, should we say, get their 30.
Yeah.
Hopefully people continue to play it after that, even though there's not really anything to work towards.
I think 30 for the mask, by the way.
Thank you. I know you and Godhammer had been checking in on that for me. Yeah, 30 for the mask, which I think is kind of what everyone would love to have from the Briggsy outfit. The jacket is nice, though. I'm not gonna lie. I do hope that they have like a reason to do this after the 30, kind of the way that they've done with the Chest of Fortune, where seasonal updates just kind of like new seasons bring in new rewards for those types of things. I think that's one of the things that kind of killed off Ashen Winds and Skelly Forts, or not Skelly Forts. Yeah, Skelly Forts, Skelly fleets, is there's just nothing to bring you back to those events. Whereas with like the Chest of Fortune, it's moved. Now you can do it at the Fort of the Damned. And also I would say like too, if you're adverse to PvP, but you still want to participate in this, now's a great time to be working on Fort of the Dams for your Chest of Fortunes. You can easily stack a bunch of those while folks are focusing mostly on the Skull of Siren Song. I think I've seen a couple Fort of the Dams just go completely uncontested while folks are chasing after that skull, and it's very easy to work on that too. I'm trying to think if there was something else. Has everyone gotten a chance to voice your thoughts on the Skull of Siren Song? Regis, I know you said that you're not going to bother with it because you don't want to engage with the PvP aspect of it.
Yeah, anybody who knows me at this point, I prefer to stay well away from the sweat lords and sword lords and double gunners and the hackers and all that stuff, because I know that with my temper, I'm bound to just either break my computer or just, I don't know, do something I might regret, knowing my temper. So I know my limits.
No,
PvP is not for me.
No deleting pirates here. You're not allowed to delete your pirate.
I'm not deleting my pirate. I'm not going to delete my pirate when I somehow, some way do the voyage ward event.
I wouldn't mind getting getting you one, at least to get the jacket.
Yeah, the jacket would be nice, but yeah, exactly, Professor.
Yeah.
I know my limits, and I know what makes me tick, because I don't want to go on a raging fit, start swearing like a sailor, or in my case, swearing like an Australian.
That's fair. I don't blame you. I know my limits too, and I try to stay away. That's why I have fun with my friends in COD, but they definitely notice like the worst of me because of that. Tommy, I saw you unmute. What do you got?
For the people that are angry about Arena not being around anymore, it seems like this is the best replacement for it. Well, at least the first version of Arena, with grabbing something, everybody sees where it's at. You just gotta hunt everybody to get what everybody wants before it gets to the drop-off point. I was lucky. The one and only time I did play this mission, I had nobody around me, so that was good for me being solo. But at the end, someone did come up on my ship when I was docking before I was able to get to Brixie. I could hear her. I couldn't find her. She was like in the weeds or whatever, and the skeletons were trying to get to me, and I was a sliver of health, and this other ship was just destroying my sloop. Well, Spaceball one, but not my sloop. And it did give me that heart-pounding feeling that I haven't had in a while playing it. So it's thumbs up for me. They could change a few things, but like the speed, like you guys said, but overall, it's pretty cool.
Bring back the cosmetics.
You be quiet.
You guys are talking no context to what people know. You're not reading chat.
I can read your mind, Logan. You're right. Tommy, it is very OG arena feeling, and that's part of what we were enjoying about it. I'm just preempting Logan's comment. No, the cosmetics from that should never come back. Ever.
If they bring arena back, they should bring the cosmetics back. I don't think
okay.
I don't
My
think
point
this
exactly.
I'm like, if it were something where like they wanted to bring arena back because of this, like if this was the impetus to figuring out how to bring arena to Sea of Thieves, then like if the comics for Lissetti searching for DeMarco's soul pan out and she finds his soul and is able to bring him back and he comes back, but Lissetti takes over for the arena and the arena Sea Dog Tavern like gets populated and expanded upon and developed in adventure, and they kick it back up, 100% bring back those cosmetics.
We can talk about it then. but that's the same type of event.
I have to disagree. After reading the comic, Leslie's made it very clear that she's like, I don't want to wear this outfits anymore.
That's true. So good call. Thank you.
If it comes in something newer, a new version of it, but the originals stay locked.
Logan, write it down. I stand with you. I'm in agreement with you. Somebody actually agrees with me. Let's go.
I don't know. Like Carl just brought up a really good point. Like for one, Lissetti doesn't want to. She wants to make her own path, and I did forget that about the comic, but. Also, she did come up with her own costume, which looks better than the Sea Dog stuff. And I wouldn't mind kind of having like a fresh set of arena clothes.
Go back to your room, Rusty. Go back to your room now.
Do not let them cloud your mind, Logan. Stay with me here.
You're grounded. Go back to your room.
I'd like to point out that there is no physical copy to these new comics coming out. It's only digital, and that very much upsets me. Because I have physical, actual comic copies of the other ones that have been available.
I'm hoping that what they'll do is a trade back, because I've been picking up the trade backs for like the the Champion of Souls and the trade merchant stuff, and it's kind of a bummer not to have like the individual issues and stuff, but I'm hoping that they at least do the trade backs for these. I don't know why it's such a weird thing. I really want to talk to Adam and Pete about the marketing stuff, because it does feel like there's a weird disconnect between some of the stuff that they used to do and some of the stuff that they're doing now. And I'll live with the digital, but I am 100% with you. I want the physical copies of the comics.
They got that whole new marketplace. They're selling Christmas sweaters. Come on. Give us physical comics.
They are. They got the seasonal pass coin, which I still need to finish up and order.
Jumpers, Prof. Jumpers, not sweaters. Jumpers.
Yeah,
jumpers. Get it right.
Come on. Harumph. Okay, so we've been going for a while now. Has everyone gotten a chance to jump onto the Skull of Siren Song thoughts? Like, I don't want to end the show before someone got a chance to talk about it. All right, I think we're good. I've been very happy with the voyage. I think they've done a great job with it. I think that the best way that they can continue on this is to kind of just have stuff to bring to cosmetics, a reason to continuously like sign up for it. The interesting thing that I can't remember who brought it up, but Lorena has dialogue about this voyage that talks about Godhammer. Thank you. You brought it up. You noticed that she had dialogue that kind of suggests that Briggsy might need these skulls to open something, or to open the way to something. And I think that this is going to be how we get to the finale of the Briggsy adventures that were started last year. All right. Anybody else have anything before we head out? All right. Sounds good. Awesome. Let's start going down the list of everyone that was here and see if you guys have anything you want to shout out or anything you want to say. Starting from the very top, Blue Turtle V1. Thanks for coming. Hope you guys, hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Anything you want to shout out or say as we head out?
No, nothing really for me. I just want to say that I'm thankful for being part of this community.
For sure. Glad to have you. Welcome to your first episode.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Next up, Jefe Esteban.
Nothing to shout out. It's been great as always. Appreciate you. I having the community and bringing us all together. We wouldn't be here without you. So thank you.
Oh, I love you. Godhammer, we're heading out. Anything you want to shout out?
Good job, Rare. Well done. And if you're on a server with the Grogged and you also have Grogged in your guild name, that server's only big enough for one of us. So you're getting attacked on sight. Grogged.
I love it. I really do. Carl, we're heading out, buddy. Anything you want to shout out or say?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be back on. Just want to give a shout out to a new channel I'm working on, which is Embo Family Gaming. It's actually something for me and my kids, who are all playing the games together. Me and my lad Ollie. A lot of people in the community already know us, but we're doing a big push on that, and we're looking forward to even having merch ready for Softfest, as they will be coming with me.
Oh, dang it. Of course, the year I'm not going to be there.
Oh, you're not. Oh, got
yeah.
Typical that. But yeah, so I'd appreciate if anyone wants to show some love. I'm on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube as Embo Family Gaming as well. Trust me, the things that Ollie comes out with, you will not regret it. Also, of course, happy birthday for Ollie on Thursday the 23rd.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ollie. Also, send me a link to your channel so that I can make sure that I get it in the show notes.
I appreciate it. I certainly will.
Awesome. Next up, Regis. We're heading out, buddy. Anything you want to shout out?
Nothing much really, but what was I gonna say again?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, the Christmas live stream for Sea of Thieves. I hope that comes back, and also we get some more juicy lore teasers for the next year, because I want to see more of it. Yeah, the orb stream. Yeah, the orb stream.
The almighty orb.
Oh, hail the orb! Praise the orb, or whatever they say these days.
Definitely hope so. Yeah, me too. Orb is lore.
Yeah. Yep, I can't wait for that, and I want to see some more juicy teasers.
Yeah, that'll be nice for sure. All right. Next up, Rusty. We're heading out, buddy.
I just want to give a shout out to you, Logan, and the whole community.
Wow.
If it wasn't for you and the community, obviously we've known each other for a little bit longer before the community and all that stuff. But with you starting this community, I wouldn't have met the guys I sail with and a couple of the ladies we sail with. And big shout out to Hefe, because if it wasn't for you, Logan, I wouldn't have met him. And long story short, I probably never would have moved to South Alabama. That's for darn sure. So big changes in my life, much support from Hefe and his family, and a little bit from Tennessee. We'll give him a little bit of credit there. But yeah, so thanks guys. Love you all.
Rust, I'm proud of the progress you've made in life. Next up, Static. Static, how you doing? Anything you want to shout out or say as we head out?
Yeah, good luck to all the hunters out there this weekend. May you get the deer you're looking for and be safe. Also, I would not be here on this show or know about the show or be involved with the game in any way if it wasn't for my two best pirates, Bertzer and Jared39.
Nice. I love that. Shout out your crewmates. All right. Tien, Prof, we're heading out, buddy.
Happy holidays, everybody. Enjoy your time together with friends and family, and catch some time online. Spend some time with your virtual family, too. Take care.
Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, make sure you guys have a good holiday as well, too. And last but not least, Tommy D. Tommy, we're heading out. Anyone you want to shout out or say or anything you want to pass along?
Eat your vegetables, kids.
Oh, son of a...
Yeah, it helps.
I guess. Drink Ovaltine. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of the Keelhauled. I want to thank all of the Gold Hoarders who are here, but also all the Gold Hoarders who are supporting and aren't able to make it. I love you all. I hope you guys are having a good rest of your weekend. Remember, if you feel yourself getting heated, step away. But if not, good luck to those of you who are seeking that Skull of Siren Song. I hope you get every single one you shoot for. And I think that's going to do it. All right. Thanks, everyone.